Joining me for more is David Swanson. He is author of the book right here, War is a Lie, that you see right there on your screen. David, I want to ask you, this use of drones that we now know is going to be going on in Libya, what do you think the toll is going to be versus the success? We've seen drones have a success of strategic kills, a success rate of just 2% since 2004 in Pakistan. What is their success going to be in Libya?
I know no reason to think it will be higher. The 25 people killed in Pakistan today are known to have included children. We're talking about a military that spends months meeting face-to-face with top-level Taliban officials who turn out not to have anything to do with the Taliban. And we're supposed to believe that a guy at a desk in Las Vegas can identify who's under a roof in Libya or Pakistan or anywhere else. I mean, the United Nations denounces this as illegal, and here it's being used as part of a mission supposedly justified by the Department of Justice in Washington as upholding the credibility of the United Nations. Which a resolution that bans foreign forces and enforces an arms embargo. It's lunacy.
That's a great point that you mentioned the United Nations stance on U.S. drone use. So is this a violation of the UN resolution that is the reason that NATO's in Libya right now?
Arguably so. It's arguably a crime regardless of UN resolution anywhere in the world, according to claims in recent years by the United Nations. And for those who think that we needed a no-fly zone and we needed to prevent a massacre, that claim has come and gone. That's been done. And so the question is, even if you buy that argument, which I don't, what in the world are we still doing there, arming one side in a civil war, violating the arms embargo that's part of that resolution, putting foreign forces in, which violates that resolution, and attacking retreating troops and using not just drones, but missiles from planes and other weapons that kill civilians. And at what point, when this operation is clearly going to result in more deaths on both sides than were claimed to be at risk from Gaddafi, do you say enough's enough? This was the wrong decision.
And just beyond the UN resolution, is this mission creep? Is the United States inevitably getting itself into a longer, drawn-out operation there in Libya? Even Gates yesterday was tweeting that, this takes time. It was always the goal to get the Gaddafi regime out, but it takes a long time.
I'm betting. I've been trying today to find someone to take my bet. I'm trying to bet someone $100 that it goes over that 60-day mark that's in the War Powers Act. I can't find anyone willing to bet me. I would bet it goes for several years at least. And if the U.S. pulls out, Europe still might stay in. This is going to be a divided country. This is going to be a stalemate. And creating a martyr out of Gaddafi won't change that. There are interested parties on both sides of this war, and violence is just not an obvious solution here or anywhere.
Airstrikes haven't worked to avoid a stalemate, which is what many have agreed that this is coming to, including Admiral Mike Mullen. So what makes anybody think that drones, which are, remote control airstrikes, will be more effective in getting out of a stalemate, getting past that?
I'm not convinced that anyone thinks they will be effective, but I think that a lot of people with good reason believe they will dissuade American hostility to the war, because if American lives are not directly at risk, the lives of other people just are not valued in the same way, even in a war that was launched on the pretense that its sole motivation was saving human lives.
So do you think that this is political for the United States so that they can make that argument that, hey, no U.S. lives are at risk here?
I think that's why we're moving to the use of unmanned weapons here and elsewhere. I think it avoids putting American lives directly at risk. I think that, we'll avoid a draft at all costs. We'll destroy the economy. We'll put everything into recruitment. We'll hold people over. We'll take them uneducated and older and less prepared, and we'll give them longer terms of so-called service. But if we can avoid using human beings at all, if we can use machines and claim that no lives are at risk, the Pentagon loves that.
And just real quickly, I just have a moment, but I'm just wondering, you know, it avoids human lives and the human cost on the American side using drones. But I'm just curious what impact this has on the Muslim world, because drones are wildly unpopular. They've been a sticking point between Islamabad and Washington as a result of civilian casualties and the disdain for these. So when the Muslim world, you know, more broadly knows that the United States is now using drones in Libya, does this fuel anti-Americanism, resentment, frustration with American foreign policy?
I can't imagine how it couldn't. I was recently in Afghanistan. There seems to be a lot more resentment of this sort of behavior, these killings, than of torture and imprisonment and those kinds of abuses. I can't imagine that you don't have the same result here in a country where Gaddafi, for all of his faults, is widely seen as a resistor of foreign empire.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for giving us that perspective. David Swanson, author of War is Lie, with that fresh news.